Wholeness and balanced vibrations. Here it goes in question 7 from the number 7. It says, I feel I am not motivated, not creative. I don't like change and I like being safe. Is this a trait of the 7? How can I work with these traits without feeling like I should be more? This is a question from a 7.
So I'll jump in. I I think this would be like an opposite of like what sevens are. So I would say, you know, try to get to know yourself, because one of the main things, I think with some of these numbers, sometimes you exhibit, opposites of like what your true nature is. And a 7 is very much spiritual. So there's actually the first thing that seems to happen is a denial point, and there seems to be like a fight within yourself because you basically are so into the spiritual world and you cannot feel yourself, so that in your younger years you're searching, and that tends to become a denial of your spiritual self until you do actually, I think it can be very dramatic to experience your spirituality as a 7 because it's so encompassing. So explore that spiritual side of yourself, because there might be like a denial happening there, because Rahu and Ketu, they're very much in the spiritual world without a physical body. Like, it's one of the two planets that don't have a physical planet, let's say. So in terms of like looking for yourself, and until you have to realize that you have to go into the spiritual world. And that tend, I think, to feel very confusing, to not, to be headless and then to be bodiless, that format. So that would be my 15 seconds on that.
That's right on the button. And you're probably going to have to keep your mic open because we have another 7, possibly the same person, maybe not, saying, as a 7, I have a very intimate relationship with this number 3, but we're both leaders and we have bad fallouts. Are we compatible?
Yeah, number 7 gets along with, it's a weird relationship. It gets along with most of the numbers, and you become, as a 7, you actually become benefits, to these other numbers. But in overall, you have to be mindful of your spiritual journey. In this tense, in fact, in looking at, because it's very much a spiritual journey for the 7th, very much like it's literally like all spiritual. And so you tend to fall into that. And because you're also so good at so many things and so good at helping people, there's a lot of the numbers actually feel very comfortable around you, including 3s, and even the ones that you don't, you would say like that wouldn't be a benefit to you. You're either a benefit to them, so people will flock to you because they feel very much comfortable around you. So it's that same thing. Just be mindful that this is a spiritual journey for you, especially, and grounding is a little bit hard for a 7, and so it's not so much not to have connection with people, but it's like looking for something outside. You see, a lot of the questions are like asking about relationship with people when it's actually you need to go in.
Amazing. Neva, do you have any final thoughts as a number 3 on how you would process a number 7 relationship?
For not for the number 3, but for number 7 is that grounding, like Sister Deyes just mentioned, it's an issue for number 7s. And so really to concentrate on that base chakra and the yantra for that. There you go. And really meditating on that yantra. And with any yantra practice, always to start with that base yantra, with that, because that's what we start, as we climb our ladder of lights, our spinal column, we're always going to start from the bottom. And so meditating with that base yantra and some people draw the yantra, which in itself is a meditative practice in itself, because you're going from, I'll just show you, you're going from the outer gates here, going into the inner part of you, from your subjective right into your objective, into the bindu point. And this is actually your brain. You're going from the outer world right into the corpus callosum in the midpoint of the brain.
Beautiful. We have only a few questions left. We're actually reaching the conclusion of today's questions. Also, sending thanks to everyone that has been contributing such amazing questions, and also to the Keymakers here, working to create balance more in our consciousness so that we know what to do. We're all here as mentors. And again, the disclaimer is that we can give you all the advice and all the wisdom in the world. It's still up to you to flip the switch. And we're doing our best.